So, what happens when the world's absolute strongest hero gets betrayed and trapped in an impossible dungeon for 20 whole years? Well, picture this. You're the 13th Zodiac, right? Literally the peak of human combat. You step up to face this ultimate nightmare-level calamity called the Crimson Eye, inside the notorious Devil's Tower. You look back, expecting your 12 trusted allies, the Saints, to have your back. But no, they're running away. They literally just abandon you to die. So there you are, totally alone in the dark, facing an endless horde of monsters.
Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the ultimate manhwa revenge story. We're talking about a betrayed hero who comes back, and I mean, he comes back completely overpowered. We're going to follow the insane journey of Gian, the 13th Zodiac. He doesn't just survive this impossible execution setup. Oh no, he crawls out with powers that basically break reality. We'll get into his hilarious combat style, his character growth, and of course the incredibly satisfying revenge tour he launches against the exact people who stole his life. Trust me, the payback you're about to see is just mind-blowing.
To really grasp how crazy this is, we've got to look at the timeline. Back in 2005, John gets locked inside the Devil's Tower, and he fights, continuously, for a solid decade. By 2015, the toll is just brutal. He's lost an arm, he's covered in these gruesome scars, basically hanging on by a thread. But does he quit? No way. He pushes through for another 10 years, literally surviving on pure rage. Finally, in 2025, he beats the tower's true administrator. The whole unstoppable Devil's Tower collapses, and out walks a guy everyone thought was a ghost for 20 years. And during all that time, his betrayers were busy building massive empires off his stolen glory.
And when that tower explodes, Ganon doesn't just, limp out. He emerges totally healed. Think about it. He should have been a ruined, dying mess missing an arm from all that demonic backlash. But because he pulled off the impossible, the system rewards him by awakening his true constellation, Ophiuchus, the snake bear. He unlocks this insane super regeneration, regrows his missing arm, loses all his scars, and steps back into the sunlight, not just restored, but exponentially stronger. It's a total game changer.
Now imagine giving your literal life to save the world and your closest friends completely erase you. While Gian was fighting for his life, those 12 saints stole everything. They took all the credit for defeating the calamities, they drained his massive wealth and split his priceless relics amongst themselves. They even faked his final testimony. And honestly, the worst part? They started mass-producing and selling these fake, cursed relics to innocent people. So yeah, every bit of fury Gian is about to drop on them, absolutely 100% justified.
Okay, so let's kick things off with Act 1, Hunting the Ares Saint.
Right after getting out, Gian runs into a massive S-ranked Spider Queen attacking a supermarket, swarming the streets with giant bugs. The elite saints? They are absolutely panicking, right? They can't even scratch these things. But Gian, he casually strolls up, grabs a stack of ordinary canned food off the grocery shelves, and just starts annihilating the swarm. He's chucking cans of soup so hard they literally slice the monsters clean in half. And he just looks at them and says, "You weak losers should know your place."
The power difference here is just hilarious. The supposedly divine Ares Saint needs these massive, majestic avatars to do his fighting, and his whole faction still completely failed to beat this Spider Queen earlier. But John just obliterates it barehanded. And it gets even better. Ares sends his most terrifying divine avatar, the Beast of Riches, to take John out. Well, John beats this thing up so badly that the system actually lets him adopt it. He turns this terrifying divine beast into a tiny, cute little pet with wings and names it Piggy. You literally can't make this stuff up.
Eventually, the Ares Saint himself, Yang Wei, decides to step up. He activates his ultimate sovereign skill, trapping John in this super intimidating arena made of chains and spikes. He totally thinks he's got this in the bag. But John? He just flexes. He shatters this unbreakable divine barrier like it's cheap glass and absolutely flattens the Ares Saint into the ground. But he doesn't kill him. Oh no, that'd be too easy. Instead, he suppresses Yang Wei's soul and literally traps the guy's consciousness inside a tiny fluffy teddy bear. And he just carries him around to watch his whole empire burn down.
Moving right along, we get to Act 2, Reclaiming the Arsenal.
So, to really go to war against the remaining saints, John needs his stolen gear back. His old buddy Hugo, the Sagittarius saint who actually stayed loyal, points him in the right direction. While raiding the Ares vault, John finds this thing called lime. Now, at first glance, it looks like a completely useless toothpick, but with a quick flick, it transforms into its true shape, an adorable S-rank divine artifact slime. Lime is basically a mobile creation workshop. It can absorb monster parts, fix broken gear, and forge crazy, overpowered artifacts right on the spot. So with Lime, John is officially back in the blacksmithing business.
With his workshop sorted, Jian puts a master plan in motion to get his heavy hitters back. Step 1, he bumps into the Aquarius Saint Sophie, who is throwing a literal tantrum in an appraisal shop. He casually brushes off her devastating water magic and traumatizes her by flicking her on the forehead so hard she passes out, and he steals her divine power while he's at it. Step 2, he heads up to Drachma, this massive floating city in the sky where the elites hold high-stakes auctions. And Step 3, he intentionally crashes the auction to confront the Leo Saint, Steven, who's been obsessively hoarding Jian's old artifacts.
And we are talking big money here. Try $1 billion. The auction brings out the Great Bone, pitching it as the absolute most destructive relic Giant ever made. Steven, the Leo Saint, is so desperate to prove he's on the legendary 13th Zodiac's level that he arrogantly drops a cool billion on it. Meanwhile, Giant is just sitting right there in the audience, secretly cracking up because all that money is being routed directly into his own dormant bank account.
Which brings us right into Act 3, crushing the Leo Saint.
So Steven is practically taking a victory lap when a massive ice dragon calamity suddenly crashes the party, threatening to drop the whole floating city out of the sky. Steven steps right up, basically telling everyone to stand back and witness the earth-shattering power of Gaian's Great Bone. He powers up this ultimate lightning barrier, winds up, and smashes the bone right onto the dragon's head, and nothing. Literally nothing happens. The monster doesn't even flinch, it honestly just looks confused. Steven is totally panicking, just hammering away at it, having zero clue why his billion-dollar ultimate weapon is a total dud.
That's when Jian decides he's seen enough. He casually walks right into Steven's supposedly unbreakable lightning barrier, tearing it open with his bare hands. He looks Steven dead in the eyes, takes the billion-dollar great bone, and just effortlessly crushes it into dust. Then he drops the ultimate bombshell. It was never a legendary weapon. It was literally just a random bone he picked up off the ground 20 years ago because it was handy. The power was never in the weapon, guys. It was always in Jian. And just to drive the point home, Jian punches Steven so hard he blasts him straight out of the floating tower, dropping him into the open sky.
This whole sequence reveals a genuinely terrifying reality for the traders. If you think about the power scaling here, you've got your normal saints, right? They struggle pretty hard against the S-rank calamities. Then you have the calamities themselves right above them. But awakened John? He is completely off the charts. He didn't just return to his former glory. By surviving the Devil's Tower and unlocking Ophiuchus, he's evolved into something else entirely. He treats the deadliest threats on the planet like absolute jokes.
Case in point, right after swatting the dragon, this massive horde of beast folk show up, and Jian pulls off the most disrespectful move I have ever seen. The Leo Saint, Steven, somehow survived his massive fall, but he's knocked out cold on the ground. Someone yells at Jian to find a weapon. Jian looks down at Steven, gets this totally wicked grin, and goes, "Actually, scratch that, I've already got one." He literally grabs the unconscious Leo Saint by the ankle, winds up, and hurls him into the enemy horde like a human bowling ball. And yeah, he gets a perfect strike.
The guy is just unstoppable. I mean, think about it. We've just watched him trap the Aries Saint inside a fluffy teddy bear, use the Leo Saint as a literal bowling ball, and give the Aquarius Saint the absolute trauma of a lifetime. The world is finally waking up to the reality that the 13th Zodiac is back, and he is coming to collect everything he's owed. But here's the thing. There are still 9 saints out there, and they're hiding behind massive armies and divine powers. So how far will Jian have to go to break the rest of them? Who is the 13th Zodiac gonna crush next? Well, you'll have to stick with us to find out. Keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.